Welcome to A View from the Summit, where we explore the unique relationship between humans and animals. Whether it's an Olympic partner or couch buddy, a working companion or unique pet, a world champion or someone you think the world of. Join us for a look at animals in our lives. Brought to you by Summit Animal Health. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of A View from the Summit. We have a wonderful show for you today. My name is Steve Susie, and I get to be your co-host. So we have someone here that you have seen, no doubt, on television or in the movies, but I'm not going to give that away just yet. I get to introduce my co-host way up there in the north where the chickens roost with the hoot owls, Robin Benson. That's how far north you are.
I never know. Hi, Steve. I never know how I'm going to be introduced. So he keeps me guessing as well as all of you. I love it. And we are here to have fun. So welcome, Emmanuel. Steve, it's always wonderful to be here with you. And that is, exploring unique relationships between humans and their animals is what we do, but we love the fun of it, right? We have so much in our life that's serious, that's heavy, but the animal stuff, it speaks to our heart, and that's where we feel like we get to connect. And I'm really grateful that every day, that's my life. We have a working cattle ranch. We work our cattle with horses. We have goats. We have a free range child that we homeschool who loves the animals as much as we do. And so it's a zoo here all the time. In fact, I just barely, I'm like making sure I don't have hay in my hair, came in from working a couple colts. So it's wonderful to be here, and I'm excited to chat with you guys today.
Well, I get to introduce our guest, Emmanuelle Vaugier. You've seen her on 2.5 Men. You've seen her on CSI. And most importantly, she's in one of my favorite movies of all time, Secondhand Lions. Welcome, Emmanuelle.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I have to ask, Robin, where up north, like you said, up north, I just assumed you were in Florida as well. So where in the great north?
I should have said that. I usually do. I'm in northwestern Minnesota, about 100 miles from Canada. And we are, you know about Canada. So yep. I actually grew up in northeastern Vermont. So also right below the Canadian border on the other side of the country. My husband's from here. And so it's just actually not nearly as cold today as it normally is this time of year. So we're soaking up all the non-freezing weather while we can.
Oh, I know. That's like here today. It's beautiful and sunny, and I'm just outside. I'm in Vancouver, Canada at the moment, just sort of outside of Vancouver, and it's been warmer today. I mean, I got up at like 4:30 this morning, so I was out and about with the dogs for a hot minute. I was like, okay, back inside. Like, wait till the sun comes up. Why am I up so early? But yeah, we're getting a couple of days of kind of nice warm weather. Warm, but I see that you were dressed. I'm like, okay, she's not in Florida.
Not in Florida. Well, and I'm in my office area, if you want to call it that, is in this like back part of the house where there is no official heat in this room. Like it comes from the rest of the house, but it was an addition. And actually it's a log home, and these are the actual logs from the outside of the house that they added on to. So this room's always chilly. So I was able to like take my coat off, run in, and just leave the rest. I'm like, I'm just going to go show up. So that's how we definitely spend lots of our day outside, and we just dress in lots of layers.
Yep. I'm familiar with the layers that, growing up here and then being in California for over 25 years and then coming back and forth, like over the last few years, spending more time in Canada, like just kind of flitting around. And it's just, I'm like, oh, right. Now I understand why I had those like 17 parkas in storage. I'm like, why do I have so many coats?
Right.
Like fleecies and hoodies and all these things. And I'm like, I didn't use them for many years. And now I'm very happy that I didn't toss, although for the amount of money that I probably spent storing them, I could have a whole new wardrobe that isn't dated. So whatever, but
they don't make it like they used to. So you're glad you saved it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Emmanuel, tell us how many critters you have.
I only have three. I have two. I'm looking around. I'm like, I have two dogs. They're a little toy poodle and a little Maltipoo. Bella is both rescues. Bella's the toy poodle. She's a little silver, and she's 8 pounds, and she's 10 years old. And I've got Jack, who's all black, although he's turning a little silver now because he's getting a little long in the tooth, but you wouldn't know it from his energy levels. He's 13, and he's half poodle, half Maltese. So, and oh yeah, and then the third one, who doesn't live with me, is my horse Bunny, and she is 19 years old. And yeah, that rounds out my family.
Awesome.
Have you always been, because I know other things you do, and we'll get to talk about those in a minute. Have you always been an animal person, or was there a significant animal in your past when you were a little girl?
Growing up, we always, like, since I was 4 years old, we always had dogs, always poodles. My mom was all about the hype. Well, she was allergic to cats. She's allergic to cats, like deathly allergic. So she was afraid that if we got a dog that was a shedding dog, that maybe she'd have a reaction. She didn't want to have to, rehome the dog after the kids got used to it. So we went with the poodle, and I'm a poodle girl. And
That's awesome.
I am not ashamed to admit I am a poodle girl. And Jack is my first boy and my first half poodle, half Maltese, and he's amazing. But yeah, I've always been obsessed with dogs and horses. My aunt in France had horses for many, many years. And, I always had a fascination with horses. Rode a little bit when I was 12 years old, like once a week. My grandmother and I would get on the bus, go down to the stables, walk like 30 minutes in the rain, and then like go tack up my horse and ride outside in rain gear. It lasted I hung on for 2 years, and then I was like, I can't, like, there's no indoor, I'm freezing.
I can completely relate to that.
Yeah.
Boy, we're having fun now, right?
I know. And this is supposed to be fun. Like, what do I do in my off
Yeah.
time?
I did not have enough money at the time to make it fun for myself and stay warm in a shielded indoor arena with like all the things.
Right. So do you have a memory from childhood, that kind of, whether it was an animal that helped heal your heart, or whether like an experience that kind of pushed you to the, we're going to talk more about it in a minute, what you do now with animals, but just sort of something that sticks out, whether it's with a poodle or a horse or a cat, that was like, oh my gosh, these animals are just changed my heart, changed my life, and I have to do something for them.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, my dogs throughout the years, like there's been, you go through challenges in life and you're like, oh, and you come home and they're like the unconditional love that's always there. So I got Bunny in 2018, and during 2020 and all the stuff that happened, that I refuse to call that period of time by any name whatsoever. I'll just call it the dark ages.
That year 2020.
Yeah, I don't want to give it any So 2020 happened, and like there was a death in the family. Not but somebody that I was close to, and just a lot of things happened, and then everything shut down, and there was nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. Things got pretty ugly on a personal level, and she was the only thing.
It's okay.
I was like, I'm not gonna cry.
No.
It's okay. We cry on this show. It's perfectly okay.
I would go to the barn. It was the only place that I had as an outlet that I could get away from all the sort of dark stuff that was going on personally. And she would just be there. And like there were times where I would cry in her stall and she would just lay her head on my shoulder and just like pull me close to her, I was like, wow, and I'd only had her for a couple years at that point. So she was a very sort of powerful healing tool, and also just a friend, when I didn't really have anywhere to turn to or to get people to talk to about it. So yeah, she got me through a lot. And then we came up to Canada during that time, sort of get away. I brought all the animals with me. And then I ended up relocating my animals mainly. I mean, well, my dogs couldn't travel with me, but but the horse stayed here primarily in the last few years, just while I traveled around, because it was just a quality of life wise and everything. I just, that was good for her. And there was a lot more space for her to roam around in, and that, just situation wise. But yeah, she was very instrumental in healing and processing things, and to this day she still is, but yeah, she's like my little partner in crime. And she was a broodmare when I first got her. She had been in a field having babies she'd had 8 babies, so she was kind of a project horse. And we brought her back, and I always joke that I'm her 9th baby, because she just takes such good care of me that I'm like, okay, I'm her 9th baby that she didn't actually have to, do that much work for. Now she's working hard for me, but
I love it. That is so, and it's true. Horses really are healers. We've talked to more than one person, a lot of people on this show, and for myself included, I'm in that category, that horses have truly provided healing and comfort many times. And I've cried many times on the show too, so you're not alone.
Yes.
But it's why we talk about this connection, right? I mean, it's truly hard to put into words, but there's a place in our heart that we feel it, and we just know these are special beings, right? And we know that there's things they understand that we don't even know how to put into words, but they can heal us even without the words, which I feel like is so powerful. And it's truly why they're magical. I mean, horses, dogs, cats, water buffalo, it doesn't matter what they are.
We had a woman on the show who Hank is her pet water buffalo, and he thinks he's a poodle. I mean, he's been poodleized. He's been poodleized.
Oh, the poor water buffalo.
I know. She lays on him. They swim together. It's pretty comical. It's pretty funny. She's like, I told my husband he's my first love. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? With the animals, especially with the horses, I always, all the girls at the barn and stuff, it's just sort of like, there's like a new guy that comes around, and it's always like, they always think it's so cool that you have a horse or ride horses or into horses in the beginning. And then they realize how much time it takes, and all the attention is going over to this, majestic being. And they're like, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for.
It looks cool in the movies, but okay, we're gonna talk about this, right?
Yeah. Emmanuel, if you could think about it a minute, what have you learned from your animals? Anything?
Oh gosh, so much. I mean, patience. Definitely patience. Compassion, humility. And I'm constantly learning from them. I just feel like, especially just in energy and working with energy with animals, as far as, you can say, you more that you're around them, especially horses, the more that you're around them, the more you become sensitive to it. And, as long as you're open to it. And with horses, I find that, as you can't hide. You can't hide from it, but it's very obvious with that large of an animal. You sit on that animal and you're riding, and you're either in a bad mood or something's happening. It's like, it's a direct reflection. You're looking in the mirror, and that horse is going, nope, not today.
If you can even get them caught to begin with, they're like, sorry, I'm not coming near you because all that stuff you've got going on, I don't want any part of it today. Sorry.
All right, no, go away. Come back with carrots when you're in a better mood.
Right? Because all this stuff you're bringing into the pasture, nah, I'm out of here. And then you get more mad, right? Because you can't catch them, and whatever's wrong with you gets worse. And they're like, sorry, you can work it out because I'm not into that stuff. And it truly, you're so right. Like the patience and the humility. I mean, the horses can humble you so quickly, whether you want them to or not.
Well, it's like in the, you watch people get cocky or rough with a horse, which, you never which I don't enjoy seeing. But when you do see it and you see, like you see the reaction and you see their body language, like, and how, their whole body stiffens, and it's like they go into it. It's fascinating to watch, and it's fascinating to see what, the good things that can happen. Not that sort of situation, but like with humans working with animals.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's something magical about them because they are so big. Even like humans have this idea that we're just all powerful and we can just put our will on anything. And when you're working with a horse, Steve and I were talking about this earlier, but when you're working with a horse, they have a way of showing you, like, it doesn't matter how big and strong and tough and whatever you are, you just like are out of luck, because if they don't want to do what you want to do, or they're scared or whatever, it doesn't matter. And so it truly is amazing to see, how much they tolerate from all this stuff that we do to them, and B, how just wise they can be. And when you tune, like you say, tune into that energy. I could talk about horses all day. It's really one of those things for me. Like I've told Steve, I mean, since I was a little girl, they've been my, my go-to for comfort and everything. They're truly amazing. But we also have, I mean, we could talk all day. I know, I could just tell, like, if we've got horses to talk about,
yeah,
we could be here all day. But for those of you listening and watching, that Emmanuelle has another project that is, I mean, she loves horses, but tell us about your cats. I know that.
Nope, she doesn't have cats.
No, sorry, not cats. Sorry, Fluffball. We have another.
Congratulations, we sent you a little gift. Obviously, you haven't got it yet.
A cat's out of the bag.
Tinkerbell will be there anytime.
There's a box out front.
I wasn't supposed to say it. The cat's out of the bag. Sorry.
Robin, no more, Robin. No more.
Dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Furball. The Fluffball initiative. We had a guest from the Furball farm, which in my mind is really close. And it's all about like 500 cats or something. She's amazing, this woman. It's a cat rescue. But anyway, okay, back up. No cat. Well, we might have a surprise on the way, but we won't tell you.
My dogs might have something to say about that, but yeah.
Right. I feel you there for sure. Fluffball. Here we go.
Tell us Fluffball stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2010, I wanted to do something to give back and, to the animals that I love so much. And so I hosted a fundraiser at my house in LA, and for the Best Friends Animal Society at the time. And we, that's where it sort of started. And then over the years, we did a couple of years of with Best Friends Animal Society, and then with the Animal Hope and Wellness Foundation, which deals with, at the time, for the first year, it was severe abuse cases. And then it transitioned sort of into the dog meat trade stuff. They were focusing on that. We supported them there. And then we supported Forgotten Horses Rescue, which rescues horses from kill pens and rehabilitates and rehomes them. And then, 2020, people got married, people had babies, and, on my board and things. And we took a little break, and we were gearing up to do another event in 2020. And then,
And what happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
The black hole.
There was a black hole, and then here we are in 2023. And
Right.
I had been searching for the next. So I'll back up. Fluffball is a foundation that a charity I founded back in 2010, and the mission was basically to support various animal charities that do great work and raise awareness and money for them through, like a high-end cocktail event or whatever it might be, like some sort of event every year, and through online fundraising and awareness and that sort of thing through social media. So this year I was looking for a new benefactor, or actually for the last couple of years I've been looking, and I really wanted to find an organization that combined, that showcased what animals have to offer, what horses specifically have to offer in the community, outside of this idea that it's an elitist sport that costs lots of money, which it does, but it's like that, but they have more of a purpose than just that, like that they have so much value in the community. And so I ended up stumbling across, like I was searching, and finally I called a friend of mine. I was like, in Florida, she lives in just outside of Orlando, and I was like, do you know anyone that would know a charity that does this sort of thing, works with kids and teens or something, but like also it's like rescued horses or retired horses or something, where it's sort of a second lease on life for the horse too. And she connected me with a realtor in Ocala, who then connected me to Mindy Morrow of Horses and Heroes. And what she does is she's been doing this for it'll be 30 years in 2024, and she's done it on her own. She doesn't have a lot of big funding, right? It's all been sort of private donations and things, and she's done amazing work. But what she does is she takes in retired show horses, and she works with young girls who live at or below the poverty line, and provides a horsemanship program for them to learn how to ride, learn how to care for a horse. They learn leadership skills, teamwork, how to, accountability, all those things. And from its inception, every girl who's gone through and completed the program has graduated from high school and then gone on to do something in either like in the military or a trade school or something, and gone on to further their, in a career of some sort, which for a lot of these girls would have, they had 4 of them last year had parents die of fentanyl overdoses. There's a lot of, just really horrible home life situations, whether it be abuse or drugs or whatever it is. And it gives these girls a place where they can feel safe, and they can, have a camaraderie amongst each other, and learn important skills to navigate life that they wouldn't really get in the environment that they're being brought up in. So that's who we're supporting this year.
Wow, that's amazing. And
Thank
talk about the healing power of horses. That's incredible.
Yes. She has an amazing documentary that it's like 6 minutes long. It's such a perfect thing to show people, because it encapsulates everything that she does in such a beautiful way. And a 16-year-old made this documentary. So
wow.
I was like, who is this kid? Where is he? Apparently he's doing very well in Miami somewhere now. But I think I gave you the link to put in the show notes, but it showcases the girls and what they do, and the girls talk about sort of their experience, and it's really quite incredible.
So Emmanuel, how are you supporting them? What's your goal? Are you having a big cocktail party that we're all going to be invited to? What's the deal here?
Well, at some point
I don't have a thing to wear, so I just got to prepare.
And when we do one, you will be invited for sure. At the moment, I found like doing a party involves so many moving parts and also expenses that I would, at this point, would rather see that money go directly to Mindy than to throw a party. I would love to throw a party at some point. And a lot of, most of the time we have a lot of things donated, but there's always some hard costs associated no matter how you break it down. So for the time being, we've been reaching out to our donor list and, posting on social media. And our goal is to raise $200,000, hopefully surpass that, for Mindy within the next year, to help get her all the things that she needs on her property. We just gave her $25,000 worth of donations in kind. So we were able to buy 1,200 bales of hay for her, or just about 1,200 bales of hay for her. We paid for, the trees in the paddocks to get trimmed. I think there's about 12 trees and that were just like needed attending to. And then we got her about $6,000 worth of grain, to help with the feeding of the horses. So, I mean, the horses, that's the sort of first priority, is making sure they're cared for and fed, and the farrier gets there and all those bills are paid. Then secondarily, we also want to focus on property upgrades. I mean, she's got paddocks that are being washed away, like this, like they need to be filled, driveways, that kind of stuff, which fences need mending, but all in due time. But we want to sort of get as much as we can done in, but then there's also sort of the list of priorities for her, that the most urgent things, which is always the horses. But we know that all the money would go all to the horses. If she had her way, it would be like, no, it's fine. We don't have to, the driveway's fine. So we want to make sure we get those things done for her too. But of course, the animals are the priority.
Wow. How did she happen to get involved in this? And then we know how you found her, but how did she get involved in this?
So she grew up riding horses, and from what this is what she told me. She's like, I had nice horses. I never wanted for anything. I always had, I grew up very privileged and was very lucky that way. And she was in, I believe, Delray or somewhere up near Wellington, teaching or something. And somehow there was a situation where she ended up with a pony of some, I don't know, where there was like a girl that she was like, okay, I'll teach you how to, take care of this. Something happened where she landed in a position where she started teaching girls how to, that couldn't really afford to ride, that were being snubbed in the community, so to speak. And she was giving them the opportunity to have those things. And then I think it just evolved. I can't remember exactly, like she has like the origin story that she has is, I can't remember exactly how it happened, but then she ended up moving to Ocala and purchasing a farm there, and was able to set up sort of a more, appropriate, like larger kind of space. And I think things were more affordable in the area at the time. And so she was able to continue her program there.
That's absolutely fabulous. And I think it is absolutely wonderful that you're helping her expand and get all dolled up so she can do even more work. That's very great. That's great. That's got to be very gratifying.
It is. I mean, I feel like what she does is so important, and it's so, it's valuable for the horses, and that have so much more to teach people beyond their, fancy show career or whatever it might have been. There's, they're not just thrown away. They even if some of the horses aren't, some of the horses they can't ride anymore, but she's like, some of those horses are some of the barn favorites of the girls, because they learn, I mean, they have, again, so much more to offer beyond being ridden. So.
But what are you doing for the poodles of the world? I feel like they're not getting adequate representation. I feel like the poodles are giving and giving, but you're just focusing on the horses. So I need to stand up for the poodles a little bit.
Sleeping on the job this one. Oh, so exhausted.
Oh,
Mom, you woke me up.
Man.
You're on, Bella.
That is a poodle. Oh man.
Hi, Bella.
There is some resemblance here.
Look at her.
Yeah,
she's like, pardon me, you just disturbed my nap.
I was warm, I was cozy, and these nuts on. Oh, look. Look at
Look
her.
at the look we're getting.
Oh,
Hi,
my
Bella. We're
goodness.
sorry.
I
You're
think
Very
adorable.
Yeah, she oh, you're so cute. Yes, you're cute. She has a lot to say. She would like to have an extra feeding a day. But she's a little tubby around the middle, as you can
Oh
see.
my.
I'm not fat shaming. I'm just pointing out the dog. So,
Cover her ears.
Yeah.
yes, they both same amount of food, but one of us likes to eat all of her food in the morning and leave nothing for later, and then the other one likes to eat half his food, and then he has me pick it up and put it on the counter, and then he decides, like, he barks at me at about 4 o'clock, and he's like, I'm ready now. And then she's all pissed off because she's like, where's mine? I'm like, you ate yours. I know.
Now you're getting the look.
Boy, that is a look. I know you just exude love and everything for these animals, but have you ever worked on a soundstage with animals? I've been told that children and animals are to be avoided.
I will work with animals any day on a sound. I have worked with both. I will take the animals.
Really?
Far less complicated.
Not as much drama, right?
Not as much drama, and yeah, better behaved. Depending on the age. Kids can be great. It's just, a lot of it is usually how the parents handle things, depending on how young they are, and they're on, and so that can be. But yeah, I did a movie called Susie's Hope with, and that was all a bunch of dogs and stuff, and that was so much fun. That was, getting to show up and play with dogs every day was a blast. And then on Big Sky River for Hallmark, I got to play with horses. So that's my dream job, is like, I get to go to work and then be on Big Sky River. We were on like a huge horse property. So every morning we drive up and there's horses like, nickering as we drive in, and they're like, oh, hey, you're back.
Yeah.
I love it.
How fun.
That's awesome.
How fun.
Wow.
Well, we want to know, our audience, they're all animal lovers, and they tolerate two-legged animals a little bit, but they would really probably like to support you somehow. So is there a way that they can make contributions to your charity?
Absolutely. If you go to the fluffball.com, it's you can donate there. There's lots of different sort of options, and then watch the video, share it. That's the other thing, awareness, talk about it, share it with your friends, and so everyone can see the great work that Mindy's doing, and see what they're supporting.
That's cool. Well, we'll mention that. Robin is good about making sure that all that's in the show notes and stuff.
Yeah, we'll make sure and add the donation link and your website and social media channels and all that in the show notes. And just, if people are watching or listening, where can they find you? Just tell them your website, social media, all of that, so that they can find you.
So on Instagram, I'm Emmanuelle Vaugier, or at Emmanuelle Vaugier. Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it now, is at Vaugier. Facebook is The Real Emmanuelle Vaugier. Bella, stop it. And my website is emmanuellevaugier.com, the fluffball.com, and the Fluffball handles are the Fluffball event on Instagram and the Fluffball on Facebook.
Awesome. Now,
if you know Emmanuel's name, you can find her. So just make sure it's the real one, and definitely go check her out, because this, man, for every little girl that needs healing from so many things, it's just, wow, Mindy sounds like an amazing person, and maybe we could get her on here one day and visit with her about what she's doing.
I'd love that. Yeah,
that would be so fun to hear. The stories, of changing the lives with horses of those kids, the trajectory of their entire life.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we would love, so if you want to shoot me her contact information, I'll reach out to her and maybe we can
Absolutely.
get her on. Now, I want to make sure you have cat litter and things like that you'll be able.
Well, generally, I mean, the dogs, their toys are basically cat toys because they're that size. So
Yeah.
toys, if there's pee pads, I mean, litter, pee pads, whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'm
You
just
got it covered. We're good.
Yeah, it's a
because
cat, so kitten, so I can train it to do whatever, right?
we just
Right.
want you to have
You can
this
make it act like a dog.
joyous experience with the cat.
I want a cat that can flush the toilet, like go in the toilet and like flush.
Yeah,
One
I've
of
seen
those.
those videos.
I
I
know,
think
but
it's
I'm like,
I
what is
think
that?
it's all animated. It's all animated. Cats
Right.
are not going to work that hard at anything. My
You're
no.
like, I'm sorry, you want me to do what? No, you're flushing that toilet for me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
No,
Let
they
me tell
won't.
you how this works around here, okay?
Emmanuel, I know you have another interview coming up. I really appreciate you spending time with us. It's been just a joy, and we thank you. Robin, do you have any parting comments for us?
No, just lovely visiting with you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for your time. And Steve, with you also.
Well,
Thank
you know, I'm just kind of an add-on.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Bella. I
Bella,
appreciate
get Bella
Bella.
up in the no, get Bella up in the frame. She
Oh, yeah.
wants her screen time, for God's sakes. Come on.
She's
Come
like,
on.
Mom, you woke me up. Now,
Yeah, you
come
woke
on.
me up. Now
They're
give me
both- they're
give me
both
my
coming.
time in front of the
There we
cat.
go.
Oh, look.
Oh,
Jack is
There.
also was black at one point,
Yeah.
but now you can see they're both kind of. Whoa, she's like, don't get his face near me.
Oh.
All right. You
well,
guys need-
thank you again
right,
so much.
thank you.
Bye, Jack
Thank
and
you,
Bella
Emmanuel.
and Emmanuel. We're very grateful. It's been a pleasure. And we will definitely let you know when it airs so you can share it
Thank
with all of your friends.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Have a fabulous day.
Ladies
too.
and
Bye.
gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll be back next week with another View from the Summit. Thanks for joining us for A View from the Summit. This program is made possible by Summit Animal Health. Check them out online at summitanimals.com. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next week for another View from the Summit.